Welcome to the biggest show in the world, Sports Bettors TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the weekend, kid. As you know, we are Sports Bettors TV and SportsBettorsTV.com. We are here 7 days a week making money for you. That's right, baby. And I got my boy, the evil genius of Major League Baseball on the line. Dr. Dan, what is going on, Playboy?
Hey, chalk for days, baby. Chalk for days. Y'all want to hate on me for taking chalk? Go ahead, because I'm living off that money, baby. 4-0 yesterday. And hey, the day before, I took 3 dogs. I lost on one of them, but Sweet 16, 7-1, and guess what? This homie's got a perfect Sweet 16 bracket going on for 25 large.
Oh.
So I'm living the life, baby.
Oh, damn, son. Unbelievable. Great job on your part, kid. What a way to get right into the MLBs with that winning, kid.
Oh, yeah. You know, my thing is, man, we just building that bankroll. College basketball has been really good to us. You know, I threw away a lot of that MLB loot on that dirty college football, on that nasty NFL, and I've been slowly grinding that back over this college basketball season. We got a bunch of futures still alive. Anybody who's been following me, you know we got Zona, we got Whiskey, we got Notre Dame, we got Michigan State, and as of last night, I popped on that Duke at plus 850. So,
how could you not?
I'm feeling real good, kid.
Oh, I agree, man. And I have Kentucky to win the whole thing. So, either way, one of us is going to be cashing.
Oh, yeah. And you know, I got enough in that future where, look, hey, I like Notre Dame. I think they can run with Kentucky. We'll get into that game. But, look, I expect Kentucky to be in the final. And that's why I didn't take them. Because I think that if they get in a final against somebody that, you know, you're going to see a decent money line. Maybe it'll be minus 200 or something like that. But I'll just throw it the other way and make sure I cover my bets, and we're all living good.
All day long, man. All right, guys, so listen, this is going to be the format of the show, and this is how we are going to do the show today. All right. Dr. Dan spent about 40-plus hours. How many hours did you spend on MLBs, dude?
It ended up being 44 hours, kid.
Unbelievable, man. That's the commitment that we got to the biggest show in the world to make you guys some cash. So what we're going to do is this, all right? What we're going to do is we're going to break down the NCAAs. We're going to get into NBAs. Then I'm going to have my girl, the royalty, the beautiful queen of odds, call in to kind of help us break down some of the hoop, maybe touch on a little MLB. We'll take a touch of a break, and then we're going to get right into the massive MLB breakdown by yours truly, Dr. Dan, the evil genius, and I can't wait to see it, man. And listen, guys, if you watched the YouTube videos last year, you saw what this cat did. 8 out of 10 playoff teams, and he picked the Kansas City Royals to win the AL and go to the World Series. So you know what, dude? I'm going to be all ears, and you and I are going to be going back and forth, and I just can't wait to hear what you got to say.
Yo, we got a ton, kid. I got the down low on every team, what's going to happen, and look, my specialty, and I know a lot of cats don't like this, but, you know, you got to look into the future. You got to look at what these teams are doing, whether they're buying, whether they're selling, whether you expect them to be good at the All-Star break, you know, because that's really going to make a big decision on these over-unders. I hit 86% of those last year. Really happy, you know, but hey, I'll be honest, a lot of those came down to the last day, a win or a loss. So, you know, we're going to try and pop on it again. I'm ready to kill it, kid.
Yo, let me ask you a question. So if you have that like under-over thing going on, that's an even bet, right?
Sometimes, not really. So I got all that. I got the odds. You got some teams that their overs will be, you know, you got a lot of minus 115s. You got a lot of minus 120s. You got a few evens. You never really have plus money, though.
Okay. But you could hedge if it's an underdog or something like that. We'll talk about that. You know, that last game of the season.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. I mean, it's a lot of work to do, you know, to hedge out of it at the end. But, you know, it is what it is, man. If you got like 3 or 4 that are coming down to the wire, you know?
Exactly. And, you know, like if you come down, what I always do is if I come down to the last day of the season, I think last year I want to say the Dodgers, right? So you money line it the other way, that last game of the season comes down to it, and, you know, so you're either making a little bit of money or a lot of money, so you're not losing anything.
All right, cool, man. So, guys, what we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to talk about the NCAA basketball, which, yo, big ups to you, number one, for going 4-0. Big ups to the Dream for – he must have talked about Duke -5 like 100 times on the show yesterday, right?
Thank you,
dude,
referees.
how the hell did we get that to work, bro? With the referees calling a foul with 0.7 seconds left. Yo, I don't know if you guys didn't see this, man. This was one of the best wins ever. And if you had Utah, I feel so bad for you. My heart actually bleeds for you, man. So
yeah, I feel bad. I know a lot of dudes were on Utah. Utah doesn't play the type of competition that Duke is, and I thought they hung in there better than than I thought. All the cats that hit me up yesterday, I do feel bad, but Duke is legit. And hey, Papa, I'm sorry for your Oklahoma, man. I know you were laid heavy on that. Man, a lot of people were, but Michigan State at this time of the year, it's like either bet them or stay away.
Yeah, Sparty's the bomb, dude. And I have a feeling Sparty's going to lay the smackdown on Louisville. But we'll talk about that tomorrow, along with Hatter's WWE WrestleMania breakdown.
Oh, snap, son.
Charging $1,000.
Brock Lesnar?
I'm waiting until tomorrow, player. I'm waiting until tomorrow. All right, big upset.
Cat's been calling dudes up in friggin', WWE up here in Connecticut. He's like, yo, what's going down? What's the scoop? Let me know.
Well, actually, the wrestlers don't know who's going to win until right before the event. Somebody actually comes in their dressing room and says, hey, you're going to win or you're going to lose. That's why you can bet on it now.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure those marketing dudes at WWE know, though.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to get one of them to leak some information to me, but hey, it is what it is, man. Yo, so real quick, so yesterday what ended up happening is we had Duke -5. The entire nation had Duke -5, right? So there's 0.7 seconds left. All the players left the court, dude. Utah, Duke, everybody left the court. Well, Dukies were still hanging around. Utah was all pissed off, so they left, right? The referees call everybody back on the court so Duke could shoot free throws, right? So now Duke's up 5. It's a push. My man misses the first one and then makes the second one. Duke wins by 6, and the whole hashtag SBTVNation cashes tickets, kid. So the referees were on our side for once.
It's about time. And, that's the thing. I actually had him at 5.5.
So, that was even more bittersweet.
So, I mean, I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. I'm like still looking at a good night. Not going to hit that parlay, which, by the way, the 14 parlay last night was like 15 to hit 200 bones. So, very happy about that.
Good for you.
Hey, man, I've had the refs go against me so many times this year that it's very, very sweet for finding to work my way one time.
All day. Big ups to my man Bada Flocka that crushed it yesterday. Let me just see who else is on here. I got JC. I got Sports Guru. I got Marlon. I got AZ Wildcat. Good morning to you. I got Casano. I got Snoopy Betts. I got Ben Diaz. I got Slim Daddy Wins. Terry Kohler. C. Rodriguez Jr. I got Homer Picks. I got Eddie E. I've got Jason Riley. I've got, let's see who else here. I got Jeff Ryan. I've got James Harrelson. I got the beautiful Queen of Odds who's going to be calling really, really soon. I got AZ Wildcat 83, as I said, the Pine Tar Immortal. Gilbert Arizola. I got Bookies Fear Us. CK Noyen, and the list goes on and on.
It's nice to see all my MLB homies shaking off the dust and coming out of the woodwork again. I'm loving it. And AZ Wildcat, brother, I see that tweet. I think you're going to be pretty happy with my breakdown today.
Oh, nice. Blunt Master's out there. Julio Prado's out there. Guys, thank you so much for retweeting the show. We had 84 retweets of the show yesterday, man. We're trying to get to 100. So, I know the weekend, the listens aren't as busy as the week, but, we got to hit that century mark and set a new goal, Playboy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Gruff, what's going on, buddy? All right,
Bookie Spear Us, we'll be talking about all this. The second hour of the show, every team will be broken down. Over, unders. We got home runs. We got everything that you could want, guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Looking forward to it, man. All right, Dan. Let's jump right into it. All right, let's jump right into the NCAA. Now, I didn't have a perfect night last night, okay? I ended up I had a money line parlay with Wisconsin and Duke. That cashed. But I also put a small money line parlay in. I did Duke, and I added my boy. My boy ended up losing to Brooklyn, which was very surprising, which they should have won the game. But
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
We'll take another peek at my boy to come back because they barely ever lose 2 games in a row. So
yeah, I'm doing y'all a favor. I know I got a million NBA picks a day, guys. You do not want me jumping on your back on NBA. Just trust me. I don't play it. I jump on your back. I'm poisoning that well.
You got to know your limitations, Playboy.
I do. Just keep me away from the NBA, brother.
Well, you know what? Daddy's been on a tear with the NBA.
Yes, you have.
And the Dream had Portland last night. He had another team. I forgot. Oh, Toronto Raptors. He was plugging. Dream wrecked it, dude. So you know what? Hey, that's what the hashtag SBTVNation's all about, man. I can't wait.
Yes, I just got to say one more thing. I know baseball is probably the most passionate fan base out there, right? So, guys, don't be threatening my life when I hate on your team today. I'm just doing what I got to do to make money.
All right, Dr. Dan, the evil genius. All right, so let's get right into this NCAA because you've been tearing it up. You went 7-1 in the last 8 against the spread, huh?
Yes, sir. Against the spread, I took 2 little crazy money line parlays. My one loss was West Virginia, which hey, Kentucky they talked too much trash before the game and just got murdered.
Son, I can't believe you did that.
Yeah, you know.
I can't believe you took West Virginia.
Hate on me for that. The nation hated on me for the Xavier play.
Really?
I was getting so much heat on the Xavier play. I had him against the spread, obviously pretty big, but I put a very, very small money line on Xavier as well because what the hell? Why not, man? It's a tournament. Anything could happen.
I concur, man. It's all good. It's all good,
dude.
Hey, you know what? 7-1 is not so bad. So let me just switch this up a little bit, and we will get right into this. All right. So I'm feeling a little I feel like, dude, in 2 weeks, couple weeks is my birthday, bro. And my bride actually bought me tickets to go see Boris at Pasha in New York. So I'm looking forward to that, guys. Hey, listen, any of you cats that like this type of music that want to come out and party with me for my birthday, hey, I'm going to be in New York City. So, some of you guys that couldn't make it out to Las Vegas, hey, just saying, man, it'd be nice to see some of your faces, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I will be at Pasha, New York.
If you don't think the Hatter's going to be having plays for days on his birthday, then you don't know the Hatter.
Definitely not. All right, I got Jesse James out there. I got 5-1. I got Alex Washington. What is up? All right. First one we got on the ticket, we got Notre Dame and Kentucky. Kentucky is minus 10.5 to 11.
We actually got Arizona, Wisconsin.
That's the first one?
That's the first one.
All right, so Arizona's playing really early then for them.
6:05. 6:05.
Oh, okay, all right, my bad. So we got Arizona playing Wisconsin, and we actually can get Arizona as a favorite, which is Wisconsin as an underdog. Anywhere from 1 to 1.5. Dude, Wisconsin getting points just doesn't sound right.
It doesn't. And, I've been breaking this game down all morning. I spent this whole week doing MLBs and obviously focusing. Thank God the ticket's been light on college basketball. But, man, I'm all over Wisconsin here. First off, I think, they have the best player in the country still. I don't care what anybody says. Both sides of the ball. They're getting points. If I'm the coach, I'm throwing that up. They think Arizona's better than you. Arizona's a good team, but, man, I don't know. Whiskey, just both sides of the ball. They're the 10th best defense in the country. I know Arizona is 14. I like the competition that Wisconsin has played more all year. I think they've played better teams.
Yep.
I think Wisconsin wins this game outright. I'll take my 1.5. I've already got that locked in, but I'm all over Whiskey.
You know what? I'm looking at it, and I agree with everything you said there, and I really, really like Wisconsin to advance here. I'm feeling the way Decker's playing. Decker's been a beast.
Dude, unreal. Kaminsky has had some poor first halves. Or at least, I don't want to say poor, just not up to his level of expectation.
Yep.
Dude, Decker is just, inside, outside, wherever. The dude's, it's so quick, and just so pure. It's unreal how good he is.
Yes.
And I just don't think that Arizona has the guys. Look, they have guys that can cover the low post really well. But the thing is, Wisconsin's big dudes can shoot the ball on the money. So that's where I got to favor Wisconsin. I think they hit more of the mid-range jump shots. They'll knock down a bunch of threes. Their defense is on point. I'm there.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at Wisconsin here. Arizona scores more than they do. They average just under 77 points a game, where Wisconsin's about 72.5. Both defenses are really good. They're letting up under 60 points a game. I mean, Arizona's 59, where Wisconsin's 57.2. Arizona, surprisingly, is superior in, every category here, which kind of makes me a little nervous. I gotta be honest with you. I mean, I know that the level of competition has not been what they've been, what Wisconsin's been playing. I mean, the only real big teams that they're playing as far as conference is concerned is what? The Utes?
Yeah, Utah.
Oregon.
Oregon's okay.
UCLA is...
UCLA was dirty all year. They were terrible. I mean, you're talking about a team that, yes, I mean, Arizona's very good, and they crush the teams that they should crush. But going down the stretch, they struggled at Utah.
Yeah.
They ended up winning that game, but they won it by 6.
Mm-hmm.
They destroyed Cal, which, you can take what you want out of that. They beat UCLA, but they only beat them by 6. When you're looking at this type of stuff, I don't know, man. I think Wisconsin, after coming off that North Carolina win, that means a lot. They've dominated Ohio State this year. I like Wisconsin. I know what you're saying. It is a little scary when you look at the stats. I just think Wisconsin's got the better team and the better player.
Yeah, what you guys got to do, too, there's actually a website that I can't think off the top of my brain. But what it is you got to do college basketball. You got to put this in Google, college basketball side-by-side comparison. And there's a website, I can't think off the top of my brain, but what you could do is actually implement the two teams, and you could see the stats all up and down, compare to two offenses, compare to two defenses, and it has strength of schedule in there.
Yeah,
so
someone throw that out on Twitter. I know somebody knows about that.
All right. Yodo's got the Badger up there. You know what? I'm feeling you too, brother. I really think that Wisconsin just, with those, when they run underneath the net and do those layups, I love those.
Yeah, I mean, they're so good at that. The other thing, too, is when they're driving the lane, they can hit those, those hard reverse shots, but they're also so good at passing that then they can kick out and drain those threes. Man, and Wisconsin, I'm just looking at their free throw percentage. I mean, Wisconsin shoots free throws at 79% as well, which was, I think, the best in their conference.
That's dope.
I mean, almost 80% as a team is ridiculous. So, look, that means a lot to me. This game will be close, but Wisconsin will take it at the end.
All right, I'm with you on that. I mean, guys, listen, I'm not really recommending you play this game. I'll be honest with you. I don't even know if I'm going to get my money involved in it.
Right.
I'm pretty much, rooting for Wisconsin for bracket purposes and, stuff like that. So, but I just think this is just a lean on me.
On both teams. So honestly, I mean, I'm throwing some money on Wisconsin, but it's nothing like what I've got on my future. So for either Arizona or Whiskey, I mean, I just think Wisconsin wins this game, but like I said, I got the good futures on both of them.
All right, so the next one we got on a ticket, we got Kentucky giving anywhere from 10.5 to 11.5, depending on where you play it. Under over 136 to 137.5, so make sure you shop them lines, guys, and get it at the best spot you can get. Taking a look at this, I mean, I know Notre Dame is dope and all, but you just, in my opinion, you just can't bet against Kentucky, dude. I mean, listen, I heard all this nonsense about Press Virginia. Shane Battier coming on and saying that they were going to win the game and all this other nonsense, dude. Kentucky is a superstar team. You got all these NBA players, future NBA players on that team. Dan, I'm sure you would disagree on this, and I know you love betting against Kentucky.
I've only done it twice, and both times I've lost.
All right, but
I'm being real here. I'm keeping it real. Hey, look, I got suckered into that West Virginia. Thought they'd play dope defense. Thought they'd be able to do some things. I haven't seen obviously much weakness in Kentucky all year, minus like that game against LSU. But dude, I don't know, man. There's something about this Notre Dame team that when they get hot and if they find their shot, it doesn't matter who they play because they can put up points with anybody. Look, I like them with the 11 points.
You like the 11 and a half, 11, 10 and a half. It's like everywhere, bro.
It is. It is everywhere. And, look, I think Notre Dame is way better than Arkansas. That's a 15-point win for Kentucky. They're way better than Cincinnati. That was 13 points. And if you look at Kentucky, right, they're consistently putting up 78, 64, 79, 78. I think Notre Dame, if they can I think they'll get hot from the field today. I think they're going to put up somewhere to the mid 70s to low 80s. And if they do that, they'll stick around the whole game.
Okay, under over 136 to 137 and a half.
Yeah, I got to love that over too.
You like the over, huh?
I do.
Dude, did you
like I'm saying, I can see this game being in the 150, 160 range.
All right, Notre Dame scoring about 78 points a game, or Kentucky's about just under 75. Taking a look at, but defensively, I mean, Kentucky 53.5 points a game, where Notre Dame is 65.7. Yo, what's the average height? I know the average height for Kentucky is like 6'9", 6'10". What is the average height for Notre Dame? You have any idea?
Look at that, but I have no idea the average height of the team. But they got a couple big boys. I don't think anybody is big that Kentucky has, but they got some brawlers down low. And the other thing that you have to look at, and why I like this matchup, right, is Notre Dame has been kind of a king killer, right? In their tournament, Duke, North Carolina, those games weren't even close, really. Those games weren't close at the end. I know Kentucky's not either of those teams. Look, but they show that they stopped Okafor. So if you can stop Okafor offensively, like they only gave 64 to Duke that game, and that's the game that I'm looking at this, right? Notre Dame was able to score on Duke. Duke has a pretty good defense. They stopped Okafor. They won the game by 10. Look, I don't think Notre Dame wins this game. Obviously, I'm pulling for them. I might do a crazy small money line on them, but I think the 11 points, I think they cover that.
All right, we will see. I mean, it does seem a lot, it is a conference winner getting a lot of points. So
it is, dude. And I mean, you're talking ACC versus SEC. And I'm not saying that Kentucky wouldn't have been dominant in any conference this year. Don't get me wrong. I'm not an idiot. I know that Kentucky's a great team, but I look at the level of competition again. I mean, LSU hung with them that one game where they almost beat them. They played some close games in the SEC. I mean, you're playing teams like, garbage Mississippi State, Auburn. LSU wasn't that good. Georgia wasn't that good. Alabama, Mizzou. And then you got Notre Dame on the other side playing, UNC twice. They got Duke twice, I mean, they got some really good teams in that conference. So Notre Dame is battle-tested.
Yep. Definitely concur with that, brother. Taking a look at this, I got Dan Ho out there. I got my man, Direct Sports Solutions, that brought us. Hey, you like the dope hat, huh? You wore it all weekend.
Oh, dude, I've been rocking that like crazy. Thanks, brother.
I got And D on there. I got Rainmakers on there. What is going on, Playboy? All right, here we go. Let's see.
CB, I did get your email, kid. I've just been so busy breaking down my own futures. I got to read through it.
All right. So, going into this, so looking at this, dude, I got to be honest with you. I'm going to kind of just fall back and just kind of watch these games. I mean, my man Bada Flacco was hitting me up and saying maybe you get Wisconsin on a teaser, so that might work. Get them like +8.
I kind of like the idea of getting Wisconsin maybe like +6.5 and then getting Notre Dame +16.
Not bad.
Kind of like that too. I might have to look into that for sure. Or I might take a little bit of a marathon. I know we're not getting into the games for tomorrow yet, but I might throw Michigan State in there, get 7 points on that, and get Wisconsin +8.5. +18 on Notre Dame, and maybe, +5.5 on Michigan State.
All right. So, we are going to jump right into the NBAs right now. So, what I'm going to do is we'll break down the NBA a little bit. Then I'm going to put a message into the beautiful Queen of Odds to call in and see what she's got to say about the hoop, college hoop, NBA, so on and so forth. And maybe we'll touch a little bit on MLBs with her. And
the Queen was dope at MLB last year. So
she was, man. She was. So I'm looking forward to hearing what she has got to say as well. So taking a look at the NBA thing here, let me just switch this up a little bit. All right. This is like that. The Queen loves this song too, by the way. All right, so we got ATL, the Atlanta Hawks playing at Charlotte tonight. The line is anywhere from 2.5 to 3 with an under over 192 to 192.5. Now, I don't know how I missed the Atlanta Hawks last night. I missed the line completely. I didn't even talk about it on the show. They ended up laying the smackdown last night. And the game before, I actually took them -8 and cashed. This Charlotte team, I've been watching them a little bit. They seem a little dangerous, man. They're almost they play like spoiler. So
all right.
With Atlanta coming into town right now, I got to fall back from this. I am not going to mess with this game whatsoever. I just don't. It's just got ugly written all over it.
Didn't Atlanta clinch the number one?
Atlanta now has the number 1 seed in the East because my boy wanted to go and screw around with the Nets last night. So Atlanta realistically, dude, if you got the number 1 seed, you got to kind of chill a little bit. Try to get healthy for the playoffs.
And they clinched it last night. You don't think those boys were out going absolutely crazy?
Yeah.
You know how they do in the NBA. They're probably out till 4 or 5 in the morning, man.
Good point. And, Charlotte they are losers of 3 straight games, okay? But they're just pesky, man. They're really pesky. And I see Atlanta, like you said, clinching the number 1 seed last night, traveling, going into town, and just, I don't know. I just don't like the sound of this matchup. Now, if you guys have something to say that I'm missing, please let me know on Twitter or, wherever. But, the
Hornets are pretty bad, though.
They are bad. But I don't think ATL has really much to play for. So we'll
your
go
original
from there.
Statement. Don't put any money on it.
Yes. Big ups to Buster Carr. That's out there. I had a good time talking with him and the Fake Fam and that whole Fake Fam number 1 chat room there. We were having a good time talking last night. Buster Carr had a really, really fun conversation started with the herbal essence, Dan. And it just went into like madness, dude. So let's see. Taking a look at this, going down to the next one. We had the New York Knicks playing at Chicago. Dude, Chicago giving 16.5.
It's the Knicks, baby.
I know it's the Knicks, but Chicago stinks.
I mean, the Knicks are actively trying to lose games right now, though.
You think so, huh?
Tank. That's what NBA is built, baby. I mean, they are, the Knicks right now are 14-59. They got 8 games worse than the 76ers. They're 2 games worse than the T-Wolves. Lake Show, they're 5 games worse than. Dude, they're just trying to clinch as many ping pong balls as they can get. I wouldn't touch this game. I don't play NBA, but, the Knicks are trying to lose.
Yeah, they're really bad. I don't know if I agree with teams that try to lose, though, Dan. I really don't.
Oh, yeah,
because
they do.
You know what?
Look at the other night. Hold on. Look at like the Timberwolves, right? You got like guys like going off, and it looks like they're going to win the game. They start pulling dudes left and right. Look, players don't tank games. Players go out and play to the best of their capabilities. That's what they do. Coaches don't tank games. But presidents and GMs tank games, dude. They know that the way the NBA is built, you want as many of those lottery balls as you can get to get, whether it's Okafor or Kaminsky or Russell or whoever. You want that. That builds your franchise. Getting that guy makes your whole franchise. You'll take that one atrocious year to get the dominant dude the next year. It's like what the Colts did the year that Peyton Manning was out. I'm not saying they necessarily tanked. They didn't load up that roster, and look, they got Andrew Luck. NBA does the same thing, man.
I just can't. I have a hard time agree. I'm sorry, bro. I don't mean to disagree with you here. I see professional athletes trying to, continue to get paid. and continue to shine, and you know what I mean, stuff like that, and continue to have their numbers be dope. You know, when they, you know, to get traded and get more money or whatever. I have a hard time with teams that actually purposely throw games. I really struggle with that. But
yeah, but it happens all the time. I mean, it's notorious. You know, and like I said, I think players go out there and play, but I think, you know, GMs and presidents and owners, they tell the coach, they say, hey, look, man, your team is atrocious. You want to get, you know, Michael Jordan, you know, if your guy starts going off for 30 points or whatever, get him out of the game. And they do that, and it's proven time and time again.
All right, big ups to Tip Talker. I got Mr. Connecticut out there. What is going on? I got It's Oots all the way from Australia saying that Jeff Teague is doubtful for tonight's matchup in Charlotte. So we'll see where it ends up. But we are staying far away from that game. So, let's go to the next one here. We got, and I just put a message out to the beautiful queen to call any minute. We got the Golden State Warriors playing at the Milwaukee Bucks. Wow, dude, only 5 to 6 points at Milwaukee. Wow, that is a low line. They were just giving 4 to the Grizzlies.
I have no idea, man.
I have no clue about that. Maybe the queen could give us some information on that.
Yeah, I'm the wrong dude to ask on that NBA, but that just seems very strange.
All right. Do I got Her Highness on the line today?
What's up, guys?
What's up,
Queen of Odds, what's going on?
What's going on?
How you feeling out there, baby girl? You recovered from Vegas or what?
I'm recovered from Vegas, but I'm not recovered from last night. I am salty. I am so salty about last night, you guys.
Oh, my God. Were you trying to get the doggies to bark last night?
Oh, my God. I feel like the dream is not on the show, so I'm like going to revive his spirit and be salty as heck today. I am so mad at my Hokies. Oklahoma screwed me.
Oh, no way. No way. Unbelievable. I mean, if all the favorites cashed last night.
Yep.
Every single one of them, and they all covered. Yep.
I got so much hate yesterday at like 4 o'clock. I'm throwing out my picks. Everybody's crushing me for taking chalk, but man, I don't know. That Oklahoma game was a stomachache. I didn't feel great going into it, but man, they just kind of collapsed.
Here's the deal. Anybody that tells you, I'm like so over people DMing me, oh, Queen, 85% of the public's on MSU. Hey, back off that, lay off that play. You know what, guys? I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. Stop sending me your DMs and your opinions. I do this for a living. I take this serious. I'm so mad at myself for making that play yesterday.
Hey,
so
these
mad.
things happen. We get it back today.
Yeah, that's it. You gotta look forward, but I just have to say, as a capper, you have those days. You have those days. So.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? It's time to turn it back around tonight, and we are looking at the NBA slate right now. And Queen, I'm struggling with this game. I'm struggling with Golden State Warriors only giving anywhere from 5 to 6 at Milwaukee. Why? I mean, when they were giving 4 points to the Grizzlies. That's the Grizzlies, and they're only giving like another point to them. I'm like on the floor right now. I cannot figure this game out. Let me just take a look and see if we have any injuries.
Injury or something?
Dude, no injuries to report for Golden State. Nothing. And Golden State
doesn't make
I don't
sense.
think it's that.
What do you think?
I don't think it's that. I think that it's the fact that Golden State's been traveling a bit lately. Have they not?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they had a big win at the Grizzlies.
This is their third straight game on the road. But on the road at Trailblazers, they put up a $122 and won by 14. And then at the Grizzlies last night, they won by 33 points and put up 107. I don't get this line still. Yeah,
that's it. Well, it sounds to me like they've just been. It's a road game. It sounds like they've been on the road for three in a row. They're putting up a lot of points. Their guys are tired. They're traveling, and it sounds a bit like a bait play to me.
You know what? I'm gonna take the bait. I gotta. This is gonna be my first solo NBA play this year. I gotta take the bait.
Don't do it.
I'm doing it. And here's the flight from Memphis to Milwaukee is like 90 minutes. If this was a 2:00 game or something, I'd be like, all right. It's an 8:30. It's an 8:30 at night game. They're getting.
Yeah, but Dan, that line's the way it is for a reason. That line's the way it is for a reason.
You know what? I totally, after doing this show for a year now and just kind of listening to everybody, the fishy line thing, the line movement thing doesn't really work for me. I'll be honest with you because listen, the Dukies went down to like 3.5 at tip last night. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are like, oh, that's because the Sharps are on Utah and blah 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 blah, all this nonsense. And sure enough, Dookie's covered. So you know what? That philosophy for me personally, and no offense to anybody that plays that, but that's out the window for me. The public does win sometimes, guys.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They do win sometimes. And taking a look at this Golden State, I cannot get over this. I mean, they're superior in everything. They're coming on the road. I get the whole, fatigue factor. But, Queen, you know what? I don't think I'm going to bet this game. But I'm going to...
you know what? Why bet it? I mean, that line should be at least 8 or 9.
I agree with you. I can't figure it out. I mean, it's... We'll end up seeing what happens with it, but let's move on to the next one, Dan. So Dan, you're going to take the bait. Dan, you there?
I'm going to look at it. I'm going to see if there's any line movement. Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. All right.
I'm probably going to take that bait, unfortunately.
All right. Next one we got on the ticket, Queen. We got a couple more NBAs, but. I want to hear what you have to say about the NCAA, about the NBAs, and what you got going on as far as your stuff and your promos and all that. Next one we got on the ticket is OKC and the Utah Jazz. OKC minus 5.5, playing at the Jazz, under over 197. And guys, in case you haven't heard, Serge Ibaka is going to be out pretty much. I think he's out for the season, too. So OKC's got to rely on Russell Westbrook to basically carry them. This is an ugly spot. I don't like. OKC's got to be feeling a little deflated. After finding out that their superstar MVP, their Kevin Durant, is out. Queen, what do you think about this matchup?
I would not be playing OKC minus 5.
No.
I would not. No.
Okay. And just because,
not right now, no.
Just because of the news, or what do you think?
Well, the injuries play a huge role in that team and the way that they jive. I mean, that's kind of a big deal for OKC. I think that you could do one of two things. You could play the dog in that game because I do think that they will cover, or you could sit back and watch the game and see how OKC handles everything. But I don't think Westbrook is enough for them.
I agree. I mean, the only way they've been winning is because he's been going off. So if anything, you've been making some money with player props with Westbrook. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just one of those when that stuff comes out initially. I typically don't bet the first game when any huge injury report comes out or they're out for the season. I don't bet the first game because it's just not. And again, guys, I haven't been betting a lot of NBA. A lot of my focus has been on college, and so I mean, if you're asking me, it'd be a game that I'd stay away from, or I play the Jazz.
All right. So
I just got to throw this out there real quick. So Scott Weaver just threw out some stats on that Golden State team. Milwaukee's actually 4-1 against the spread against Golden State over the last 3 years.
Oh, okay.
It is the 4th game in 6 days for the Warriors. And the line opened at 7 and now has steamed down to 5. The line actually did open at 7.
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't. The line moving doesn't really affect me.
No, but I mean, like I said, I don't know. Maybe I'm taking the bait. We'll see if I'm a fish today.
All right. Big ups to, let's see, who's out there. I got Sportscasting. I got OJFB. Thank you very much for coming out to Las Vegas. I got Clown Man Swag. Thank you for coming out to Las Vegas. And guys, listen, I got a little lecture here for you, all right? Do me a favor. Here we go, all right? I need everybody out there to limit their Twitter and their social media to an hour a day. Okay, go to work, save your money, so when we have another event, you can come to the event. Simple as that. How about that?
I like that.
I see these people on Twitter 24 hours a day. I'm like, yo, your boss is going to fire your ass. You know what I mean?
Seriously. No. If you can put down a few of those plays, you can afford the plane ticket out. So.
Definitely.
We'll
definitely.
get y'all next time.
Queen, thank you so much for putting that together. We had such a good time with you in Vegas. Unbelievable.
Oh, my God. I had so much fun and meeting everybody. That was really – that's what it was all about, is meeting everybody, that does this, that's a part of this. And just hearing, everybody's thoughts on talking hockey. We were talking European soccer. I mean, it didn't get better than that kind of camaraderie. So I had a blast. One
of the best weekends of my life, period.
Yeah.
I really feel that way. I mean, I went out, 4 nights in a row and partied my ass off. And you know what? Just
I'm still hurt.
Yeah. It took me till yesterday to really recover.
It took me 2 days total to recover. 2 days.
I didn't get back to my house on on Tuesday till Monday till 10 o'clock at night because I had issues with my flight. And I woke up at 5:30 in the morning the next day to go to work. Oh, man, dude, I've been dead all week. But it was so worth it.
Wow.
Thanks again to everybody who came out. Thanks, Queen, setting that up again, man. It was a blast.
Definitely. Big ups to Tip Talker out there, Spot Bet, Nicholas, Jay, Vegas Girl, 92661, Jay Snyder, Get a Vegas Bookie, Clown Man Swag, OJFB, No Request, and The Real Deal Yo. All right, so, Queen, we got one more NBA here. We got Denver and Portland. Portland is anywhere from 8.5 to 9, under over 207 to 207.5. I really love the way Portland plays at home. Playing Denver, they kind of stink. So, taking a look at this.
I'm with you on the Portland play. You don't even have to go any further.
Oh, okay. Talk to me about what you got with Portland.
I like Portland a lot.
Okay.
A lot. And I like the way they play. I like their consistency. I like them, especially when they play at home. And they seem to be covering nearly every time they play at home when they win. So, I mean, that to me is a game. I'm not – listen, guys, I'm not playing that game. I'm all on college right now. But if I was going to play NBA right now, out of all the games that you guys have brought up on the show so far, definitely be Portland.
Yeah, taking a look at it, I mean, Portland was sliding a little bit, but, when they played, they lost to Golden State at home.
They lost 5 games in a row, but they were all on the road.
Yeah, right.
They were all on the road, yeah, but it was back to back to back. Yeah, they had
it was brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a rough ride for them, but I'm sorry, but they are a solid team. I love Portland.
Yeah, I mean, when they played, just going back, earlier in the month, I mean, they beat Dallas by 19 points at home. They beat Houston by 5. They beat Detroit by 19. And then they've only had 4 home games this month. And,
they cover. They cover.
Yeah, they covered. 3 out of 4 they did cover, and they played Golden State, which Golden State laid the smackdown on them, surprisingly. But taking a look at this, I think that they can make it. I think they can make it work.
You know what, Rob? I don't think they were. Was Portland favored against Golden State in that game? Because I don't think they were.
No, they weren't. They weren't. Golden State was given points.
Golden State had points, right?
Golden State was given 7.
Okay.
So they were a home team underdog. So, that's why I can't figure out Golden State only giving Milwaukee 5 to 6. It's still making me scratch my head. I gotta really investigate that game. There might be an injury or something that we're not seeing, Dan.
There might be, but I'm not seeing anything reported yet. Unless they played so many games, maybe they decided to just rest a few cats.
Yeah,
I think it is. I think they played so many games like that. The amount of games that they've been playing. So.
All right. So
I don't know.
we will end up seeing where it goes and go from there. So, Queen of Odds. All right. So, what we're going to do is, the second hour of the show, Dan and I are going to break, and then we're going to, basically go through. He spent about 40-plus hours on MLB stuff. But
okay, cool.
What do you got going on as far as, what would you like to plug? Let me just put it that way.
Okay, so I've had the past week has been a little rough for me with the college basketball, and it's funny because like right around this time of year, I usually get really on fire. I know already what I'm playing tonight, and it's probably only going to be one game, but I'm going to throw the house on it. But speaking of MLB, actually, I killed it last year, MLB. I love MLB. So I'm excited that, again, I don't bet preseason. You guys know that. I've always said that.
That's
I'm really... Yeah, I don't do it. I know a lot of people find a lot of people find value in that. They do really well, but it's just not my style. I will tell you, the first half of the MLB season, and I do have documentation, I was at 72% win. By the end of the entire season after playoffs, it did drop down quite substantially to like 65%. But the first half, I killed it. So my packages are going to be strong, and what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do like a first season package. I'm going to do like straight on customer service, VIP service, and when I have a solid game, I'm going to hit you up, and that's how we're going to play this season, because I want to limit my games and really, really, focus on capping those games because there's so many of them, and just kill it. I want to be at 75 to 80% in MLB this year.
Nice.
Which I know is like
I know that's insane. I know that's insane, but like I really take this serious. I really take what I do very serious. Baseball makes it all possible. The books hate baseball, guys. The books hate baseball.
Exactly. So, like, I've figured out a couple of systems, and I've worked through some stuff based on, like, my experience from doing this for so many years. But, like, really, really figured out some things this year that are very clear to me. And I'm, like, stoked for this to even open up for you guys. But I will tell you right now, all I have to plug is my pick of the day. And I did it yesterday, and I did not do so well. Again, I took Oklahoma, but I'm not losing today, guys. I'm not losing. I feel like this is Vegas all over again on a Saturday where I'm like, I'm not losing. So I do have a huge play today. And I'll post it on Twitter. You guys can hit me up, but yeah, I'm gonna throw the house on it. And Dan, what do you think about our futures with the MLB that you and I have talked about? Huh? You like the Washington Nationals?
Yeah, I'm all over a bunch of chalk. I got everything broken down. And guys, I also want to just throw this out there now. I've just seen it reported. Carlos Gonzalez has pain in his knee again, so the Rockies will be even worse than we thought they were going to be.
Oh, okay. All right.
Now they might lose 110 games. Look, I feel bad for them because I've wanted to get out there for a while. It's actually a beautiful ballpark. It's all connected on the light rail out there. You don't have to drive. It's really easy. It's a clean, great city, and obviously it's the Mile High City for more reasons than one. Right. So I love it, but it's a shame, man. That team is going to be so brutally terrible this year, just so bad. And I mean, if Tulo even stays healthy, he'll be traded 4 weeks into the season.
Listen, they've got years before they're going to be playing healthy or even like something substantial to look at. I don't
see it. They don't have a farm system. It's impossible.
They don't have anything.
Yeah, it's impossible to pitch.
They got a great stadium, right?
Yeah, that's about it. And it's impossible to pitch in that stadium. I mean, you got ground ball pitchers giving up home runs in that stadium. And then, their hitters can't hit on the road because it's so much easier to hit mile high that, I don't know, man, that team is bad. Now, if Cargo goes down again, that kills him. I mean, especially, I feel bad. 'Cause that could be his career right there.
Definitely. Dan doesn't want to go to Colorado for that. He wants to go for other reasons that are, some things are legalized.
In Colorado, please legalize sports gambling so I can please host a show out there like 6 months out of the year.
Definitely.
Okay, that's different because I'm like, are we really talking about the Colorado Rockies right now? What is going on?
Definitely.
Oh my God! But I will tell you guys this: I am going to be on Toronto, watching everything they do. I love them this year. And I'm not just saying that they're what.
I love them. I love them.
Yay!
I love them.
All right. Cool deal. So, Queen, tell everybody where to find you. I'm sure most of the nation does, but you know what? We got a bunch of new people that have joined the nation, and I want them all to know where to find the beautiful Queen of Odds, please.
All right. You can find me on Twitter at Queen of Odds, or you can find me on Instagram at Queen_of Odds. And that's about it. I'm getting some things moving. You're going to see some big things coming my way, and I'll keep you guys posted and updated on that. But that's it for right now, guys.
Oh, definitely, babe.
Oh,
we'll
we
definitely
love
be
you.
getting you back on really soon. You and I have been talking like every day now, so I'm looking forward to continuing to rock with you, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you got to say about the MLBs as they come up. Sounds like you're really going to be putting your time in. You're doing it full time now, so I can't wait to see what you got as far as plays are concerned, day to day.
I'm stoked. I'm telling you, this is where we're going to make our money. I'm stoked.
All right, perfect. Guys,
All right,
make
guys.
sure you follow Queen of Odds, and we will go from there.
Okay.
All right.
Bye, guys.
All right. Take care, Queen. Have a good one, all right?
All right, then.
All right. That's my girl right there, son.
Yup.
She is the bomb.
And her
kid.
baseball's on point.
All right.
On point.
All right. Well, speaking of baseball, all right, guys. So you know what? We went through the MLBs. We went through the NCAAs. As far as the hockey is concerned, I got to be honest with you. You know, Daddy doesn't really know much about hockey. But I'm going to rely on my man, the Dream, for hockey. I'm going to rely on the Total Sports Edge for hockey. I'm going to rely on the Hockey Immortal for that. I'm going to rely on First Lady of the Fake Fam. First, she's been tearing it up all week, so take a look at it.
Shout out again to Total Sports Edge on the hockey. Same thing with Hockey Immortal. You guys made me a bunch of money in Vegas. Thank you again for that.
Oh, definitely, man. Definitely. I'm looking at this, just one thing that's probably up the Dream's alley, but I don't think he would lay 300 juice with Pittsburgh ever playing the nasty Coyotes. So, hey, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it goes from there.
The Rangers at the Bruins today.
Okay. All right. Why do you like that, Dan?
I mean, the Rangers have just been on a tear. I know they're going into Boston. But, their goal scoring has picked up. They just won at Ottawa 5-1. They lost against LA, but then, they've scored a ton of goals lately. I think they go into Boston after a big win at Ottawa and beat up on the Bruins.
All
Get
right.
that at -105.
All right. Cool deal, guys. So we're going to break away for a second and get going with the MLBs. That's all I got to say. So, Dr. Dan, you ready for this or what?
No, I'm not. Oh, dude, I've been waiting all month for this, kid. I love it. This is money time, baby.
All
this
day
is
long.
America right here.
Let's go, Dr. Dan.
I need a doctor. Call me a doctor. I need a doctor to bring me back to life.
Oh, man, I can't wait to hear what you got to say, brother. Let's get going with this.
Yo, let's rip it, kid.
MLB. I never thought I'd be so excited about MLBs before, bro.
Yeah, wait. I don't, I'm a pretty humble dude. I don't like to toot my own horn a lot, but last year I shocked even myself with what I was able to do. I mean, we were right up around plus 800 units, including futures, including day-to-day betting. Man, we just absolutely ripped apart baseball. For those of you who are new to this show, I have been involved with baseball since I was 4 years old. I know what to look for. I've played at high levels. I've been betting on baseball for a long time. Let's crush it again, kid. I think we can start this off real strong.
All right, guys. So real quick, just so you know, you can go and take a look at sportsbetterstv.com right now. Take a look at the MLB futures. If you look at it, I put a link in the show link. We've got the World Series, the best that you can find as far as numbers are concerned. We have the best AL pennant 2015. We have the best NL pennant. We actually put the top 3 on there for you guys. Yep. Then we got all the division, all the division odds for the AL, NL, East. The West, the East, the Centrals, the whole package. So, Dr. Dan, the evil genius. Which one do you want to start with? You want to do divisions first? How you want to do this?
Here's what we're going to do. I think I got this all laid out. I laid this out. Like I said, I put a bunch of work into this because I love you people. I love the nation. I want you guys to have the best of me. So I broke down every single team. I spent an hour plus on some of these teams. We got the over-unders. We got who I think is going to win divisions. We got all that. So what I want to do is I'm going to go division by division, team by team. Give you what I'm thinking, give you the over-under play, and whether I think that team can make the playoffs. At the end of the NL, I'll give you all my NL teams. Right? We'll do the NL first. I'll give you my NL division winners, wild card winners, who I got World Series plays on, all that. So I think we can crush it, kid.
All right. I got everybody's feeling the intro music, kid.
Oh, dude.
All day long. Hey, you know what? I used to be a DJ back in the day, man. So you know what? All this beautiful music that you hear every single day on the biggest show in the world, 7 days a week, comes from yours truly. So you know what? Hey, it was nice having a DJ next to us in Vegas. I just basically gave him all the music. I say, here you go. He did slip a few of his own tracks in there, but it was a lot of fun out there, man. So,
yeah, man. I love it. And, for those of you who, got hurt and beat up during college football and the NFL, and maybe that college basketball hasn't gone so well, the doctor's here to give you an infusion of life. So let's start it off, I think, with the division I know best, very best, which is the NL East.
All right, go for it.
So I got a lot of guys, hey, we'll start with the Atlanta Braves. I think the Atlanta Braves are going to finish, they're going to be the second worst team in that division behind the Phils. They have a good closer. Their defense is good. That offense is really, really bad. They created so many holes in that offense, they did not fill a single one. You're counting on Freddie Freeman and Markakis to try and lead that team. That's really not happening. The pitching staff is not that great anymore. I mean, look, I know Atlanta has done more with less, but behind Kimbrel, I'm not really a fan of the bullpen either. That over-under number right now, and look, I'm giving you all these numbers from the book that I played it on. That's, look, I'm going through 32 teams and a million different futures. I can't be looking, to save a half game here or there. I'm not saying you guys don't do that. Look for the best play out there. But I'm playing every single one of these. The Braves number is 74. I'm going under on the Braves. The Braves are going to have a bad year, guys. It's going to be a bad year in Atlanta.
Okay.
So.
All right. So, keep going.
Next. Yeah, so I got the under locked in there, minus 105 on my book of choice. So if you like that, go find it.
Okay. And
next team we got, Philadelphia Phillies. Garbage. I mean, this team right now, the over-under 67.5. I'm on the under. I think this team loses 100 games. Any piece that they have left will be auctioned off to the highest bidder very shortly. You got teams that know they need starters that will get them from Philadelphia. They're not looking to replace it. They have the worst general manager probably in baseball right now. I mean, Amaro is atrocious. They haven't replaced anything. Anybody who knows the Phillies, I think, I'm sorry, Phillies fans. I'm not just hating on you to hate. You guys are bad.
Okay. All right. I'm looking at the just futures that I can read off these. The Atlanta Braves to win the NL East is 40-1. Philadelphia is 120-1. That's just to win the division. So Vegas already knows that these teams are going to be bad pretty much. Atlanta is 100-1 to win the World Series, and Philadelphia is the bottom team below the Astros at 500-1, dude.
Yeah, we get into those Astros.
All right. Keep going, man. What you got?
So next team, we got the Washington Nationals. The over-under number is 94. This is one of those that is going to come down to the last game. This rotation is just, it's flat out ridiculous. The addition of Scherzer, you have Strasburg, which I think will have a real good year this year. You got Zimmerman, you got Gio. 1 through 5, those guys are ridiculous. The bullpen's solid. I think they're somewhat hittable. I'm not the biggest Storing guy. I actually am going slightly under here. I think these guys win 90 to 93 games. I just think their offense is a little weak. I just don't see the offense doing enough to win 95 games. That's a lot of games. Look, pitching staff, like I said, is ridiculous. But the bullpen's going to cost them and the offense will cost them.
All right. They will be beating up on the Phillies in ATL, though. So that's one thing that we got to take into consideration, no?
Agreed. They will, but, like I'm saying, dude, 94 wins. So to win that bet, you got to hit 95. That's a lot of wins. Like I'm saying, it's going to be real close. It's going to be one of the closest ones. I could see him at 90. I could see him at 91, 92. I don't know, 95? 95 is a little tough, even though they're going to be beating up on, the Braves and the Phils. I just can't see 95 wins.
All right. What else you got, brother? Keep going.
All right.
Keep
so
going,
now
rocking it.
We're going to rip into my Mets.
All right.
And, look, I do not gamble against the Mets in the season. I very rarely gamble. See something crazy that I think is a mismatch. It's my heart. I'll give you that. But I have tried to look at this as analytically as possible. The Mets might have the best 1-2 punch in baseball with Harvey and DeGrom. DeGrom has been dominating spring training again after coming off a Rookie of the Year campaign. Harvey has been throwing gas again and just lighting people up. And, he's starting to get to the big leaguers now in spring training and still lighting them up. Dude is dangerous. I like the rest of the rotation with Nice, with Cologne, even with G. They got such a deep farm system that even if someone, you got Montero, you got Matz, you got Bowman, and then you got Syndergaard too. The bullpen scares me a little bit. They're great right-handed. They do not have a lefty reliever. They will make a trade, though. A trade is imminent, either between – there's a couple teams that are looking at someone on the Orioles, looking at someone out west. They'll get that lefty reliever. They also have the most underrated lineup. If you've been watching David Wright this spring training, you can tell he's back because he's hitting the opposite field. He's hitting monster shots oppo field. Granderson with Kevin Long back in the fold as his hitting coach will have a good year. I love Kadire. I think he'll hit for big average. I don't expect a ton of home runs. And then you have Lucas Duda, which I think could replicate his season. Get 30 home runs, 25, 30 home runs. Man, I like the Mets. I'm over the 83.5. I think they get 86, 87 wins this year and are in the wild card all the way to the end.
Okay. All right. Cool
so
deal.
That is your NL East.
Let me just take a look at, let's see, the NL. The New York Mets are 7.5-1 to win the NL East, which, and dude, the best you can find with the Natties is minus 429, kid.
Exactly.
Heavily favored.
There's no value there.
There's no value at all, right?
There's no value there. There's no value there. And I'm not saying I'm not high on the Nationals. I think they're a really good team. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait and see. Maybe they get out a little slow. Maybe something happens. They lose a few games in a row.
Right.
Maybe the Mets come out really hot. Or something unexpected happens with the Braves. Then you wait for them to get to even money and you take it. Look, and I'm saying this as a Mets fan. In my heart of hearts, it's so hard for me to even take a play on the Nationals like this because my heart's just screaming the other way. But it's smart, guys. It's smart. You wait till it gets to around even money, which at some point in the season it might. Unless they just start absolutely murdering everybody, which is also possible.
Absolutely. And what I did last year, guys, is what I did was I didn't play any futures before the season. That was my intentions, but I said, let me wait. The way to do this, in my opinion, is if you're going to play underdogs, you play them in the beginning of the year. And with the favorites, we kind of wait a little bit because what we end up doing is, we'll take let's say the Natties or the Dodgers or the Cardinals or something like that. We'll wait for them to have a really long, nasty skid, where they lose 5, 6, 7, 8 games or something like that out of 9 or, whatever. And then you can get better value. So that's how I like to do it, and that's what I ended up doing with the San Francisco Giants, and ended up cashing with that. So, and I waited for the KC Royals. Actually, they were going back and forth with the Tigers for the lead in the division, and they ended up. Remember, the Tigers ended up coming in and just beating their ass. So what I did was I ended up locking them in at a really good future there. So that it's kind of like watching numbers like people watch the stock market numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly like that. But so what I'm doing right now is I will give you. So in the NL East, I do have the Nationals winning the division, and the Mets taking one of the 2 wild card spots. That's what I have coming out of the NL East. So I'll throw that out there right now, and we'll see what happens.
All right.
Hey, baseball's funny.
All right. So what do we got next? Which one you want to go to next?
We have the Central.
The Central, the NL Central.
The NL Central. And I think a lot of you guys are going to think I'm nuts here. So I'm ready to take your heat just like I did last year. So we'll start with the Chicago Cubbies. Look, Lester and Arrieta, they really might be the best 1-2 in the Central. Lester's been dealing with a little bit of a dead arm all spring. I don't know how to feel about that. Most of the time it's nothing. It's just, these guys haven't thrown for a long time. It's hard to amp back up. Or it could be that he's got a lot of innings on that arm and you could see trouble down the road. The other thing that scares me about the Cubs is, are they really going to keep Chris Bryant in the minors? I mean, dude's already hit 50 home runs in the minor leagues. He's a beast. He's hitting like something like 486 this spring. He's an instant game changer. They got a bunch of other young power, talent, defense, and Joe Madden is an amazing coach, and he will get the most out of all the young guys. Look, I have the Cubs over 83 wins, but the bullpen, the rest of the rotation, the fact that Chris Bryant might not be up until June or July, I do not have the Cubs making the playoffs this year. But I have them winning over 83 wins in what I think is going to be a great division.
Oh, okay.
This is going to be this is the best division in the NL.
All right. Real quick, Dan, the Miami Marlins, any chance of anything happening there? Sorry to bounce around.
So sorry. I didn't get into the Marlins. I must have skipped them. My bad. Look, the offense is really talented and multifaceted, which means, they got guys that can hit for power. They got guys that can hit for average. They got some stolen base guys. Problem is, Fernandez is down, and I don't know if he's going to be back, when he's going to be back, and how he's going to be back. That Tommy John, you just got to wait and see. And I'm not a fan of the rest of that rotation. I just don't think it's very good. The Marlins over-under number is 83. You can get the under 83 even money. I think they're just under that. I think they're 79 to 81 win team. Okay. The thing is, Fernandez comes back, halfway through the season and looks really good. He can win 10 to 12 games in the second half of the season. He's that good. So that's what scares me a little bit. But I don't know. Something tells me he's so young. Hold them back a little more.
All right. So bouncing back to the NL Central, no problem. All right, so we broke down the Cubbies. What else you got there? What about the I'll let you go in order that you want.
All right, so the next team, which I love this team this year, the Cincinnati Reds. Okay, the Cincinnati Reds. Everybody's back to being healthy. You got Votto and Bruce, which I think are going to have resurgent years. I even see one of them, if not both of them, maybe sharing comeback player of the year awards. I think Billy Hamilton is going to be very solid in his third year, setting the table, stealing bases. Also, Cueto was a beast last year. What scares me a little bit is he threw almost 250 innings. But, he's got that body build. He looks like he has that arm that he could just, keep doing that. So I'm going to see it till the wheels fall off. I think Mike Leake has a real big bounce back year. He's a very good pitcher. I see him getting somewhere 15 to 17 wins. Homer Bailey's going to come back from, he had a little bit of surgery. But if not, they still have other guys in that rotation that are very underrated. And if Homer Bailey comes back, they have a very solid 1, 2, 3. Team is super underrated. I think they really do contend for this division. Right now, the over-under that I got it was 77.5. I'm on the over. I'm on the Cincinnati Reds over. I have them winning the NL Central.
Cincinnati Reds to win the NL Central, and right now they're plus 1230 on a $100 bet, kid.
Yep.
They're the odds-on underdog here. You're taking the underdog to win the whole to win the division.
Cincinnati, these lines are set, and I see different things. Cincinnati has a team that has won before. It's the same team. They've just been injured. And I think that part is done. I really expect – you've got a really, really good lineup when healthy. And that pitching staff isn't bad either. I'm a little down on some of the other teams in that division. And I think Cincinnati will get it done this year, man. I really do.
All right. What else?
And you're also talking, additions of, a guy like Marlon Byrd, who hits a lot of home runs. If Bruce and Votto are back, you're talking Billy Hamilton leading off. You got Phillips, who's a quintessential number 2 hitter. Everybody fits in their place. Everybody has their fit. Frazier's underrated at third base. The catcher is pretty good in Mesoraco. And their bullpen is ridiculous, dude. You got Aroldis Chapman coming out throwing a $105, against Cats, just mowing them down. Cincinnati at that value is right there, dude.
Okay. All right. Perfect, man. Good stuff. I'm looking at all. I'm like in awe right now over all these future odds. I'm looking at it, stuff like that, son. I'm going nuts right now. What else you got, brother?
So the next team we'll go into is the Milwaukee Brewers. Not a great, but a solid rotation. But that offense is going to bash this year. I think Braun will have a good year. Hit around 300, 20 home runs, 100 to 110 ribbies. Gomez will have another solid year. This team, the over-under number is 78.5. I think they're slightly over that. 80 to 83 wins. Not going to really be in contention. They'll win a bunch of games 12-7, 9-6. But, they can bash with some of the best of them.
All right. Cool deal, man. Keep rocking, Dan. Keep rocking.
Right. So we're gonna rock the over on the Brewers, 78.5. The next team that I got is the Pittsburgh Pirates. So, look, I know a lot of people love the Pirates. I like them, too. I like the Pirates a lot. Just the team overall, they do every facet of the game extremely well. They can hit. They hit for power when they need to. Their rotation is very, very good. The one concern I have is catcher. You got an elbow injury at the catcher position. You got some fast guys in that division that you're going to play, so you worry about getting run on a little bit. But I got the Pirates over 85.5, and they take a wild card.
Okay.
So I got my 2 wild cards are the Mets and the Pirates coming out of the East and the Central.
All right. Let's see what else we have here. So
the Cardinals.
Cardinals, go for it.
People are going to kill me on this, right? This rotation is insanely overrated. Wainwright, look, I think he kind of faltered down the stretch last year. And I love him, but I think it's kind of the beginning of the end. He's dealt with some abdominal issues, and he looks okay, but I'm not a fan of Lance Lynn, Lackey, Waka. I think the rotation is just extremely overrated. The offense will be good. Look, the offense will hit, but guys, we also have to look at defense. And I'm not a fan of Peralta at short. Colton Wong is a decent second baseman. Not a very good outfield defense. Holiday is kind of a butcher out there. A lot of people love the Cardinals. I'm just not one of them. I think that number's really high at 88.5. I'm going under. I'm going under on the Cardinals.
And do they make the playoffs?
No.
They do not. Wow.
No.
Wow, interesting.
They do not. Now, here's the caveat to that. They will make a trade if they have to. I'm just not sure what will be available to them. They're going to need a pitcher. They will need a pitcher if they, look, they're going to be in contention. They're definitely going to be in contention. It's going to be close. But that number is way too high right now. One thing I'm going to do on the Cardinals, because I just think they're going to start off slow. And I might wait to get a favorable number, and I really still might pop on that future. But not right now. At the odds it's at, it's just not worth it. And and I'm not sold on that bullpen either. I think the bullpen will cost them games. They're going to have to score a lot of runs. And I know a lot of you guys are high on Hayward. He's decent, guys. He's decent. He's not, he's not the second coming here. I watched him in my division for a long time. He's okay. He's not great.
Okay. All right. Taking a look at this. So the best we could find as far as futures are concerned on these, we got St. Louis Cardinals plus 140, and you don't even have them making the playoffs right now, which is crazy. But not that it's crazy, but it's it's funny that you've got the worst team as far as numbers are concerned. Best for us gamblers. You got Cincinnati Reds winning the division at plus 1230, and you got the St. Louis Cardinals not even making the playoffs at plus 140. So that's really, hey, dude, I hope you're right. I really do, man. That'd be awesome.
I hope so, too. And the thing is, I know everybody's high on Molina. And, look, I like a lot of the guys at the Cardinals. I have no qualms in them as a team per se. Nothing. But they're getting older, guys. And like I said, this Jason Hayward thing, I have a lot of guys hit me up. Oh, he's a monster. He's a monster. I mean, look, he struck out almost 100 times last year. He hit 270, hit 11 homers. I mean, he had 155 hits. The year before, he had 97 hits. And 382 at bats. I mean, he's not. I know everybody thinks he's going to turn into this huge monster, and if you're a Cardinals fan, I hope you're right. I don't think he's that good.
Got it. All right, so that does it for the NL Central, right?
That is the Central. So I got
West.
The Reds winning the division.
Yep.
Pirates making the wild card, baby.
All right, NL West. So just let me read these real quick. We got the Dodgers minus 210 as favorites. We got the San Diego Padres plus 450 to win the division. San Francisco Giants plus 520. The Arizona Diamondbacks plus 4,000. And the Colorado Rockies plus 5,000 just to win the division. Dan,
yeah,
are you going chalk here or what?
This is a little crazy, man. No chalk here. And so you guys know I got my wild cards already picked, so we got a division winner coming out of here. But let's just start with the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks number is 72. I'm on the over there. I think Colemanter will actually have a pretty good year. Those guys can really hit the ball. They got a lot of power. It's a boom or bust type of team, but like I said, I think they win over 72 games. I think, 76, 77 wins. Especially if they get Corbin, who's supposed to be back, I think, around the All-Star break, maybe a little before, and they get Arroyo back. Their 1, 2, 3 of the rotation is actually pretty good with Colemanter, Corbin, Arroyo. Like I said, the offense has a ton of power. The team needs to hit for a better average this year. They need to set guys up. If they can do that, man, I think they win over 72. They're not really going anywhere, but over 72 I think is a lock.
Okay. Over 72 on the Arizona Diamondbacks, kid. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Keep going, man. What you got?
Next one, we got the Colorado Rockies. So the Rockies' offense is not bad at home if they stay healthy, but as we just saw reported, Cargo is feeling pain in his knee. They're saying right now it's nothing, but, I mean, this guy has had more work done on him than, like some of those chicks out in L.A. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, half of him is probably, like, just, not even his own ligaments and joints. This could be his career, guys. And not to mention what that does to a team's psyche. I mean, the rotation, is the worst in baseball. It's just so bad. They have guys that probably shouldn't even be playing AAA ball. De La Rosa's the one guy that's a somewhat legit pro, and there's something going on with him right now, injury-wise. You brought in Howie Kendrick, who pitched terribly, in Philadelphia. He's going to get destroyed at Coors Field. This team is absolutely brutal, and they'll be trading. If Tulo stays healthy, he's gone probably a month or two into the season. The number is over/under 72.5. I'm under on that, way under. You can get that at even money, which is real good value. I think these guys might lose 100 games.
Really? I mean, everybody's hitting over. Yeah, go ahead.
Rockies are bad, dude.
Yeah, everybody's hitting a ball out of Coors Field, obviously, man, all year long. So, when you see those 10 and 11 run unders, guys, you know what? It sometimes goes over that. So you got to take a really good look at that stuff, And what do you see, like 8s and 9s and whatever?
Man. I mean, it's crazy. They keep the balls in a humidor out there, to just try and get some water back in them so they don't go getting crushed out of there. But, look, like I said, I feel bad for the Rockies. It's a beautiful ballpark, but that's about all they got.
All right. So keep going, man. What you got next?
This is another one that is going to really kill people. We're going over the LA Dodgers. Their number is 92.5. The Dodgers, even in a subpar division, man, I'm going under that number.
Okay.
There's just something about it. They got a great 1-2 in the rotation. They got the best pitcher in baseball, unless he's playing the Cardinals in Kershaw. Their middle infield defense is not good. Jimmy Rollins is a shell of what he once was. Kendrick is really error-prone. I mean, double-digit errors every year. The outfield defense is absolutely brutal. The only thing you have out there is Puig's arm. I mean, but he's prone to misplay balls. You got Carl Crawford. I mean, you got some guys you can bring off the bench, late innings. And, look, I know that they can hit with anybody, but they're going to have to hit. I don't think the bullpen's that good. Under 92.5 wins. They're going to be contending the whole way. It's going to be close. And the team it's going to be close with, who I think takes them at the end. And look, I know it normally takes a year to click. Let's go right into it with the San Diego Padres.
Go for it.
The San Diego Padres by far had, just a monstrous offseason. And I know a lot of people, are looking at the moves they make and, they think, Matt Kemp, he's over the hill. They got Justin Upton. He's okay. Guys, Justin Upton is a legit killer. I think he's the biggest pickup of the offseason. Just straight murderer. He'll beat you anyway. He can hit for power. He can hit in the gap. He can steal bases. He's a good glove. You got Will Myers, an underrated center fielder, and then you got Kemp over in right field. That's ridiculous right there. Middlebrooks at third, Yonder Alonso at first, Jergo at second, and Amarista at short, which we'll see what happens. You also got Barnes, who's backing him up, who I like as a utility guy. Then the rotation. The rotation's underrated. They picked up Shields. You got Cashner, you got Ross, and you got Kennedy. Be really good. The bullpen is also underrated too. Benoit is good. Quackenbush is a good setup guy. I love the Padres this year, guys. I love them. The over-under number is 84. I got them over, and I got them winning the West.
Really? A plus 450, huh?
I got the Pods winning the West.
Wow. Wow, interesting. Some value there, Playboy.
It is going to go down to the wire with the Pods and the Dodgers. I'm just, again, this is one of those. I'm waiting for the value to drop on the Dodgers, and then I'll lock on them. I just can't do it without, And like I said, that defense is going to be brutal.
Okay. All right. And looking at this, so the last team is the defending world champions, the San Francisco Giants, at plus 520 to win the division, kid. What you got with the San Francisco Giants?
I got that the San Francisco Giants have like a little league offense now. They're in trouble, dude. They're in trouble. They lost Sandoval. You had Pence breaking his arm. And you just don't know. As a hitter, like breaking that arm, that's pretty bad. look, I love Bumgarner. I mean, he's going to be great. He'll probably win 20 games, but the rest of that rotation, Hudson, I think is shot. I think he's over the hill. I'm not a big believer in Kane. Plus, I think he's had an elbow injury. And, look, any elbow injury, they're saying it's only discomfort. What that means to me is, okay, let's count 48 hours and then he's going to be out. Like I said, Hudson's over the hill. Vogelsong is brutal. And unless Lincecum, had some conversation with Jesus and Jesus told him he can go back pitching like it's too behind Bumgarner is not good and the offense is bad. The bullpen is obviously still a strength for them, but I got them under 83 wins. It's just like the Giants to win a World Series and then go out and win 75 games next year.
All right, cool. I got Buddy the Dog out there. I got Too Tall. I got Nationwide Beezy. I got West Coast Handicapper Rick Lopez, Lex Ka, Yippa 82, G Rose, Sir Mata, P for Prez, James, Sean Harnish, The Real Deal Yo, No Request, and OJFB. What is going on? All right, Dan. So that recaps the NL, the National League. All right. So go for it.
So just to recap the NL real quick. My division winners, Nationals, Reds, Padres, Wild Card, Mets, and Pirates. And here's what I got for value in futures already. So this is for the NL pennant. Nats plus 240, Cubs plus 1,000, Padres plus 1,200, Mets plus 1,600, Reds plus 4,000. And this is going to sound crazy, but I'm just throwing it in there because it's such crazy money. D-backs at plus 6,000.
All right, cool. I'm looking at it and taking a look at some of these odds, and I'll read everything that's on Sports Bettors TV right now, guys. These are the best that we can find.
Yeah.
Nationals plus 300, Dodgers plus 450, which we said no good. St. Louis Cardinals plus 625, the Cubbies plus 1070, the Giants plus 1,200, the Padres plus 1,200, the Pirates plus 1,350, and the Mets plus 1,725. And then the rest of them are like plus, 2,000 or more.
That Pirates value is good, guys. That Pirates value is really good right now, and I think it's only going to go down.
All right. So, and then what we do, too, is if you got that going on, you can actually hedge with the playoff series bets. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, that's something that we got to consider. All right.
We'll be talking about this all year, guys, too. Baseball is what I do day in, day out. If I'm not on the show, I'll be tweeting it out. If I look to lock in any futures, guys, you get all that information from me for free. So, just look out for it. Follow me on Twitter, Dr. Dan Evil Genius, and you'll get everything. I always tag Hatter at Sports Bettors TV. So, let's do it, kid.
All right, man. All right. So, I am looking forward to getting to the AL. Because we got a lot to go over, man. And, we're making some pretty good time. We're at 11:27. So I think we spent about a half hour in the NLs. So we'll keep going with the ALs, man. Now, just real quick what the odds are as far as the AL. We got the Angels favored at plus 625 to win the AL. We got the Boston Red Sox plus 650. We got the Seattle Mariners plus 750. Detroit Tigers plus 800. Chicago White Sox plus 1,000. And the Baltimore Orioles plus 1125. And then the rest of them are plus 1,200 or better. Look at sportsbettors.com/futures/MLB, and you'll see all the best ones. So where do you want to start with the NLs or the ALs? I'm sorry, brother.
All right, so we'll do it the same way. Let's start with that AL East, and this is where let's just rip the Band-Aid off. I know you guys, I'm getting hit up. We got a lot of fans in this neck of the woods. I know how crazy y'all are about baseball. Hey, I've always been right in the middle of Yankees, Red Sox territory. I know you guys are going to want to rip my throats out, so let's just do it. Let's start with Baltimore. So, Baltimore, the over-under number is 82.5. And unfortunately, because I like the Orioles, I'm under that number at even money. Chris Tillman, while he's a beast, he kind of scares me. Last 2 years, he's thrown almost 210 innings each year. Very rare these days for a pitcher to be able to go 3 straight years at 200-plus injuries. You got Machado, who's a walking injury. Man, I just don't know about Chris Davis. I just don't know. I don't think he's going to have a good year. that paired with losing Nelson Cruz, I think that kills the offense. You're also worried about Matt Wieters' elbow. Teams are going to be able to run all over them. I'm just not a believer in the Orioles this year. I'm on the under.
All right. All right,
and
guys.
Here we go, and this is what I'm apologizing for. Let's get to the Boston Red Sox.
All right.
Let's start with the positives. I'm doing this like a psychologist. I don't want to make you guys too angry. Look, these guys can hit with anybody. Anybody. This offense is ridiculous. I know a lot of you guys are saying, yeah, they have guys on their bench that would start on almost any other team. But let's be real here. This rotation is terrible. This rotation is downright atrocious, guys. There is no number one, and if you really want to look at it, they really don't even have a number two. You got a rotation of 5 guys that are like 3s and 4s. I'm not a believer in Porcello. You got Kelly, who's hurt right now. Buchholz is a bum, guys. Let's be realistic. You guys up here in New England, you love Clay Buchholz. He's a bum. Masterson, Wade Miley, These guys are going to get murdered. And then, Uehara in the bullpen, I think we saw the real Uehara. I don't think he's that good. The bullpen is mediocre to average, maybe slightly above average. Guys, you're going to have to score 10 runs a game. I mean, your pitching's going to get mauled. It's bad. I'm on the under on the Red Sox. I think they're the most overrated team in baseball this year. I'm under the 86, and I don't think they make the playoffs.
Okay. All right. Hey, that's your opinion, man. Who knows? But,
But here's the thing. I'm going to be fair about this, because let's talk about the New York Yankees. And this is going to just get people heated. So I was thinking the other day, I was sitting in my bed, trying to do these futures. I was having a little bit of a whiskey. And I go, what are the Yankees, man? And, it reminds me, the Yankees are like Frankenstein. They take a bunch of old, used-up parts, and they create something terrifying. But to me, this is like that part of Frankenstein where the castle is on fire and everybody's like trying to run for their lives. This team could be somewhat decent if they're healthy, but let's be realistic, that's just not happening. They're over-under number 82.5. I'm on the under. Look, I love watching Tanaka pitch, but I just think he's going to go down at some point. I just don't think that his arm is sustainable. I think Sabathia is a shell of what he once was. That the rotation is just not good. I think the Yankees are under 82.5. I mean, but here's the thing: the Yankees could also make some crazy trades at some point in the year. If they can figure something out. So I don't like them. No farm system to speak of. Bad rotation. Bullpen is mediocre to below average. No good on the Yankees.
All right, and the Yankees right now are plus 500 to win the division. So we'll take a look at that. So you went through the Red Sox, the Baltimore Orioles, and the the Yanks.
Yanks. So now I got the Tampa Bay Rays. I'm going to be really, really brief here. The over-under number 78.5. I'm on the under. Here's the thing, real quick. Tons of injuries. They're not good in any major category. Their bullpen's not that good. Their pitching's not good. Their offense isn't good. No Joe Madden to coach them up. Trouble. They're done. They'll be the worst team in that division.
All right, that's Tampa Biscuit right there. And what's the last one you got for us? Toronto.
Here's the thing. The Blue Jays are winning this division this year. The rotation is extremely good. I think you get another 25 to 30 home runs from Encarnacion. You got Bautista, who's going to swing a big bat again. And look, Reyes is not necessarily as dynamic as he once was, but he did play 146 games last year, which is great, which I think he can replicate again. People are, I think Justin Smoke is going to have a huge year. I think he could hit close to 30 home runs. They got guys to set the table. They got a good rotation. They kind of remind me of, the Royals of last year, except with just more established guys. But they got some young guys that are going to really kill it this year. I got the Blue Jays over the 83 number by far in winning that division.
Nice, dude. Nice. All right. So the best we can get on that right now is plus 400 to win the AL East. So you're feeling them.
I'm feeling them, man. I'm feeling the Blue Jays.
All right, man. Recap your AL East, and we'll move over to the Central.
Yep. So the AL Central, another very interesting division. Let's start with the White Sox. Over/under number of 82. I'm on the under number. Look, that Sale foot injury.
I know.
I
know. That sucks. That's my boy,
He was the only
kid.
dude on that team. I mean,
that was their whole thing.
Yeah, that's like the whole thing. It's like, all right. But here's the thing. What people don't realize is even last year, Sale only won 12 games. I'm not saying he wasn't incredibly dominant. He only lost 4. But, dude, that bullpen and that offense is so terrible. So terrible. A guy like that should be winning. He should have won 25-4 last year. I mean, and it just shows how bad the White Sox really are. A lot of people like him this year. I don't. Again, we don't know what's going to happen with Sale. That foot injury, that's bad, man. I mean, a pitcher, either foot, it's either your push foot or your plant foot. It doesn't matter. You break that foot. Especially doing some dumb stuff like moving your couch in. You got $100 million. Pay somebody to do it. White Sox is dead. White Sox is dead.
Dan,
I mean,
you know
dude
what?
had almost 4 no decisions and wins last year.
I concur. All right. So we got the Chris Sale and the White. I mean, when's he coming back?
He's, they have him on this like program where he's throwing like game simulations and stuff. But, that's into the season, so he's not going to be off the DL. Who knows? So I'm thinking it depends. Like, if the White Sox somehow start decently and that offense picks it up, maybe they push him back. But I don't know if they do that, man. I don't plan on seeing him maybe till, like, May, because if he's pitching simulations – and then he's got to go to like extended spring training to get himself right and ready for games. Maybe May 1st. I mean, who knows? Okay. Who knows? So that's why. I mean, and especially without him, man. I mean, it's not. They're just not good.
That's all they got over there, brother. That's all they got.
I mean, they got an obviously a power hitting first baseman, but like everybody knows how that works when you got one guy in your team that can hit the ball. The day he doesn't hit the ball, you guys lose 8-0. So
yeah. Rainmaker's telling me that he thinks Chris Sale is projected for around April 12th, dude.
Yeah, I'm seeing that too. I'm seeing it on their on the White Sox, what they're saying. He's ruled out for opening day, but they're saying that he was going to throw game simulations, not an actual game. So I saw that from the bullpen coach release something. So look, hey, even if he does, yeah, he'll win his games. Well, like I said, he had 12 wins last year. He went 12-4 and 10 no decisions. I just don't think that the White Sox are good. Look, their defense is very good. Their offense is brutal.
All right, man. So you got them going under, right?
Oh, yeah. I got them under 82. Let's move on to Cleveland. So we got the Indians. The Indians over-under number is 85. I'm under that number. I think it's going to be pretty close again. Is Kluber really as good as he was last year? I know he won the Cy Young. I know he had a monster year. I just think he comes back down to earth a little bit. Carrasco is decent enough as a 2. But after that, you really got nothing. 3, 4, and 5, I mean, and then I just think these Indians are really overrated. I think Michael Bourne is pretty much shot. I mean, you got a guy that can't really hit for a high average. He doesn't steal bases anymore because his legs have slowed down a couple steps. He doesn't hit for power. So your one guy that you got there really is Brantley, who's underrated. I think he could have another 2020 year, which is really rare. And you have Moss, who's your quintessential cleanup hitter. But, I mean, if you hit 25 home runs and you hit 236, it kind of mitigates itself a little bit. And then you got Swisher out. He's got both knees that are messed up. You got Kipnis is out with the back. The offense is very little average hitters. And we'll need to, it's a boomer bust. They got to hit a home run to win games. That's not going to get you over 85 wins.
Okay.
So
All right.
I'm on the under.
All right, man.
Next team we got Detroit Tigers. The Detroit Tigers worry me. Over under of 84.5. I'm on the under again. I'm on the under here because I think as much as I love Miguel Cabrera and I appreciate Triple Crown talent, you can't say that, but all these minor injuries that keeps piling up with him, it worries me. I mean, he's getting older. He's been in the league for a long time. I just worry that, something's going to happen, and he is their catalyst. Without him, they're in a lot of trouble if he misses a bunch of time. It's his 12th year in the league, so, the inevitable might be happening. Price on the rotation. Price will have a great year. I mean, Price is just a beast as a pitcher, and I think he has a real good year. But Verlander is done, guys. I love Justin Verlander, and when I say done, I don't mean he's going to have like a 5 ERA. But you're talking like close to 4 probably. He'll give up a bunch of home runs. He's wise, and he's their number 2, and the rest of the rotation is not very good after that anyway. And then you're also talking about another year, another terrible, terrible bullpen. Tigers are under 84.5 and don't make the playoffs.
I was going to ask you that if they did any work to, do better with that bullpen, because that bullpen cost them the season last year, bro.
Oh, it always does, man. I don't know what they're doing over there. The bullpen is not, and look, I know solid bullpen guys are hard to find, but I mean, good God, it couldn't really be much worse than they've had. I mean, but I'm just not a believer in Joe Nathan as a closer. Rondon does nothing for me. Albuquerque, yeah, he can throw gas, but guys in the major leagues can hit that. I just don't. I don't get it. I mean, it stinks.
Got you.
Now, and you look at their offense too. I think Victor Martinez is kind of wrapping up. Kinsler's good, Cabrera's good. Cespedes, look, dominant, but I just don't think they have enough guys to hit for average, and that rotation is really going to let them down. I just don't think they'll score enough runs to make up for the shortfalls.
All right. Hey, Yodo was saying, he said, what's your leans for WrestleMania? Yo, that's tomorrow, Playboy. That's all I got to say about that. Damn, we're at 42 past the hour. We got about 18 minutes left. So we got the last 2 teams here, and then we got the other one there. Go for it.
Yep. So we got the Kansas City Royals, my lovable Royals. Here's the thing, guys. The Royals number is 80.5, and a lot of people are hating on the Royals after losing Shields. I don't think that's necessarily a negative. Look, I think Shields is going to do very well for himself, especially going to the NL. The Royals have arrived. They're here to stay. That offense is extremely sustainable, and I think it's better than last year. Like I said, I think losing Shields is a small blow, but I think another year, and with that experience, dude, your Donnie Ventura, he is going to be a beast this year. He is so hard to hit. And I know sometimes he can get a little wild, he gets a little crazy, but that's okay. That's okay if he gets a little crazy, because it makes him much harder to hit. I think, they have one of the, if not the best defense in the league. I think Kendry Morales is a good DH. I think he's better than Billy Butler. Look, it all depends on, how he holds up. But, when you look at the rest of the guys, Hosmer will be good, Infante's good, Moustakas is good. All these guys, great defense, pretty good offense. I mean, the bullpen will be lights out again. And then you got the rotation. Ventura, I think, will be a bona fide ace this year. Duffy, if he's healthy, will be very good. I like Edison Volquez. Vargas is fine. Guthrie's fine. They also have Chris Young in case somebody falters. Chris Young's a little underrated. I mean, obviously an older guy, but is a manageable, guy as a 5th starter. And if they're lucky, and I don't say, luck, Chris Medlin has had, I feel bad for that dude. he was really, really dominant before he got all these injuries. He could come back from Tommy John. If he comes back even 80% of what he was, I got the Royals well over this number. I got them close to 90 wins and winning this division.
You got the Royals coming back again, man. Nice.
Yep.
Nice. All right, right now, yeah, we can get them at, let's see, plus 450 to win the AL Central. So, all right, we'll take a look at that. And what you got for the Minnesota Twins at plus 25-25 to win the division?
The Minnesota Twins, the over-under number I got is 73.5. I'm actually on the over here.
Really?
I'm on the over. Look, the rotation it's slightly below average, but it's manageable. I think Mauer actually might be the comeback player of the year this year. The Twins also have some crazy young talent. You got Sanyo, you got Buxton. I think those guys will be in the bigs, and I think they'll perform. The pen is very scary, but 73.5. I mean, that's losing a ton of games. I think they're just over that. I'm not saying they're going to be very good this year, but 75, 76 wins.
Okay. All right. So what you got? Just run down your division, who's going to win and who's going to be in second place and all that. You got that information for us?
So I think the Royals win the division. No other team makes the playoffs, which means that our next division, the AL West, we got 3 playoff teams.
All right, cool. I got my man Joseph that said that it's an amazing show with the MLBs, kid. Let's see, Buddy the dog is ripping it, and we will go from there, kid. Let's go to the final one here, and then we will go through your plays for the playoffs and the World Series, dude. Yep. So the AL West.
Home run futures, guys. Home run futures.
Well, we got 14 minutes, so let's see if we could bang it all out.
We can do it. We're gonna crank it out.
All right. AL West 2015: Seattle Mariners, LA Angels, Oakland, Texas, and Houston. Go for it,
Ready
man.
to get some heat here.
Let's go.
So let's start with the Houston Astros. Dallas Keuchel will crush it this year, guys. Going to be a breakout year for Feldman as well. People don't realize they picked up Gaddis, they picked up Lowry in the offseason, and dude, George Springer is a bona fide killer. I actually expect 40 homers from him this year, and I know people are like, oh, he's so young. He is young, dude. He's got a plan. Those Astros, if you watched them at the end of the year, I mean, they're monstrous. They got some young guys. They added Evan Gaddis. They added Jed Lowry. They have Altuve, who's a monster. Springer's a monster. Dude, I mean, Valbuena's going to be good at third. The bullpen is I think the bullpen will be okay. It's not going to be great. It'll be okay. But I also really like Keuchel and Feldman as that 1-2. The rest of the rotation's okay. Colin McHugh's okay. We'll see what happens. Oberholzer, I mean, it was like a left lat strain, but I think he'll be back and healthy. Man, I have the Astros over the 76 number and winning a wild card.
Whoa, kid, the Houston Astros getting into the playoffs.
I might be a year away.
Wow,
I might be a year away. But here's the thing, the Astros, because they have so many young guys, if they are in contention towards that trade deadline, they have so many assets and they have money available.
They do.
Tons of money available.
Tons of money. I agree with you on that.
So, it's those kids perform. They'll get somebody in there for whatever they need. I really like the Astros.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. All right, keep rocking, bro. Let's go.
All right, so the next one we got is your Los Angeles Angels. I see a lot of people that all these articles, Pujols, worst contract in baseball. Well, I mean, he still hit 25 homers and 100 RBIs last year. Just like kind of going about that under the radar. Look, I think the Hamilton thing, I think he needs to kind of stay away for the Angels to be good. As crazy as that sounds, I kind of think that he's just, I love Josh Hamilton. He's kind of an unmitigated disaster, and he's kind of cancerous. I'm not saying he's not a nice guy, and I feel bad, I don't want to get into the whole drug debate, like sickness, whatever. But when you get a guy that you just can't rely on day in, day out on the baseball field because you don't know if he's messed up or whatever, that hurts the team more than anybody else that you can put out there. But, I am a believer in the Angels. I think Richards comes back pitching strong. The bullpen worries me a little bit, but those guys have deep pockets, so they'll make a trade if they need to. I got the Angels winning a second wild card out of the West.
All right.
And the over of 87.5. This division's going to be insane.
Okay. All right, cool, man. Cool. Sounds like we got a lot of action going on in that division, kid. What else you got for us?
Tons of action. This is the best. I think this is the best division in the AL by far.
All right.
By far.
All right.
The next team we got is the Oakland Athletics. But the Athletics number is 82. I'm over that. I think 83 to 85 wins. They're going to miss the playoffs. This division's going to be bunched up. It's going to be crazy. I expect this division to almost possibly be like close to 500 against themselves and just destroying everybody else. I mean, they far and away very good team, but I think the Athletics are a little down this year. I think they lost a little too much to just really make up for. They're going to be decent, over 82 wins, but no playoffs.
Okay.
And then, Texas Rangers, this is quick for me. I've already locked in the under on this. It's now down to 75.5. I think I got it at 76.5. No Yu Darvish. Rotation is pretty brutal without him, especially. Offense is extremely boomer bust, and that bust is going down at a higher rate. Rangers under 75.5. They will contend with the Phillies for the worst record in the division, and they're going to get smoked by the Mariners, the Athletics, the Angels, and even the Astros. So I'm down on them. Okay. So last but not least, we have the Seattle Mariners.
Ooh, I like
Seattle Mariners, who I love, kid. I love the Seattle Mariners.
King Felix.
King Felix, man. He is the king, and I give him so much props for. That team was brutal for so long. They came to him. They said, look, we have a plan. We're building the farm system. We'll pay you the money, but you're not going to win that many games. And now I think that he's being rewarded for that, man. He's the anchor, obviously, of that staff. But I also think, Iwakuma has been a little banged up, but he's going to come back. He's a solid number 2. You got Paxton, who's the real deal. He's a real deal pitcher. And I think Taijuan Walker should make the team. And I think Taijuan Walker, this spring, he has been lights out. And I know it's spring training. Dude's got to make the team. He is an absolute killer. That rotation is the best in the division and one of the best 1 through 5 in the AL. Then you got Cano, who's going to anchor the offense hardcore. I think he'll hit a few more dingers last year, but I think he'll still hit around 330, 120 RBIs. The rest of that, the rest of the offense too, a lot of people don't know the names because, these guys kind of fly under the radar. But the Mariners, I think they won 86 or 87 games last year. I have to go back and look. But, the addition of Nelson Cruz to back up Cano, I think he has a big year again. He's been hitting in spring. Brad Miller's underrated. Like I said, Ackley's underrated. Austin Jackson's good. Right field, I think, is going to be a little bit of a platoon, which is okay. Teams have won World Series platooning a position. So, man, I'm all over the Mariners. They're the division winners, over 87.5 wins. I think they contend for the most wins in all of MLB.
All right. Wow. What? Damn, man. Dude, you're feeling, I tell you what, man, I give you a lot of credit. You've been talking for like 2 hours now, okay? You've been rocking and rolling, and this is all free, guys. Hey.
All free.
All free. That's all I got to say about that.
Let's recap the AL real quick. So, division winners, we got Toronto, Kansas City, and Seattle. Wild card out of the West, both the Angels and the Astros. Right now, for the pennant, you get Angels plus 600, M's plus 800, Royals plus 1,500, Jays plus 1,500, Astros plus 3,500. Obviously, shop at Sports Bettors TV. You might be able to do a little better for yourself on your book of choice.
All right. So what we'll do is, can you just zip through real quick? Just we have 6 minutes left here. Zip through the home run stuff, and then we'll get into your picks for the World Series.
All right, home runs, really quickly. These are the futures I'm taking. Encarnacion plus 1,200, Bautista plus 1,500, George Springer plus 2,500. We got Carter plus 1,000, Goldsmith plus 2,000, and Lucas Duda plus 10,000. Because what the hell?
All right, cool deal, man. All right. So this is what everybody wants to know, Dr. Dan. Who the hell do you got coming out of the AL and NL that's going to win? That's going to get to the World Series. I don't know if we'll call a winner of the World Series, but why don't you call who gets to it at least?
All right. So out of the American League, I have the Seattle Mariners.
You have the Seattle Mariners coming out of the AL to win the AL, and right now you can get them in a future on sportsbetterstv.com at plus 750. Okay? And who do you got coming out of the NL?
And this is rare for me, but I have two teams that I really like this year, but I'm going to go a little chalk here. And as much as it pains me, I think the Washington Nationals.
The Natties, huh?
Here's the thing. That pitching, they're going to get into the playoffs. Like I said, I'm not a believer in their offense. They're banged up a lot. These things happen. But they're going to get into the playoffs. The pitching, look at what the Giants did last year. And I think the Nationals might have a better 1, 2, and 3 going into the playoffs. I think they win the division. So, look, I love the Mets rotation. And if they can win a wild card game, but it's a one-game wild card, I have a very hard time taking a team that I think is going to have to play a one-game wild card to win the pennant.
Sure.
I got to go with the team I think is going to win the division, and that's the Nationals.
Okay.
Doesn't mean I'm not taking futures on the rest of my playoff teams, though.
Yeah, of course not. Of course not,
So,
especially now. Especially now. And as far as underdogs are concerned, we got, like we said, scrolling from the bottom up.
My favorite underdog is Cincinnati.
Cincinnati at plus 8,500 to win the World Series.
Yeah, and I got them at plus 4,000 to win the pennant as well.
Nice, dude. All right, Dan. Wow. Crazy show, okay. Crazy show, man.
Nationals, Mariners, World Series.
All right. So Nationals versus the Mariners. That's the Dr. Dan Evil Genius matchup that he is feeling is going to do the whole thing here and come out of the AL and NL. Wow, man. What a show,
While
kid.
I'm at it, the Mariners win the World Series.
You think so, huh?
Mariners will win the World Series.
All right. So let me just see what that is. Seattle Mariners plus 1,600 to win the World Series. Dan, I'm gonna play that.
All right.
I'm gonna play it. We're gonna get some King Felix to be rocking and rolling, guys. Just so you know, this was an extended 2-hour show today. Dr. Dan spent a lot of time on his MLBs, and we really appreciate it. We are looking forward to doing many more shows as far as the weekends are concerned. What we do is, as you know, the Dream doesn't really love baseball at all. That's why he's not here. But he's going to be back here tomorrow, man. We're going to break down the NCAAs. We're going to break down the NBA. And we're going to break down a little WrestleMania, dude, because I got to, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I think I'm going to make some money tomorrow with that. But as far as the MLBs are concerned, Dr. Dan comes on the weekend, so he can give you full breakdowns of the MLBs. Not to say that Dream and I don't do it, because we do it all week. But Dr. Dan is a little bit more specialized in the area, and he breaks down every single game. So, Dan, what you got to shout out before we close out of here, brother?
So this is a special shout out to the little corner of the nation that I love and I know loves me, and that's the Baseball Nation. You guys have been tweeting this show out like crazy. Thank you for promoting everything, throwing out sportsbetterstv.com. I love you guys. We're going to kill it this year. And, I play in and out. Even if I'm not on the air, like I said, look out for me on Twitter. I throw all my plays out every day. I'm most likely, like I said, to start this baseball season, I will start documenting myself because, hey, you guys want to see it, I'll deliver it. Let's just make some money, guys. Let's make some money.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, we are the biggest show in the world, Sports Betters TV and sportsbetterstv.com. Take a look at our website, man. You can actually click on the odds and go right to the books where you can play it. But we are looking forward to a big MLB season. We are looking forward to seeing the Kentucky and Wisconsin games today. Wisconsin versus Arizona and Kentucky versus Notre Dame. So we'll see where those land. As far as my leans are concerned, I'm taking a look at it. I don't really have much. I think I'm going to just fall back a little bit and see what's going on. I may jump on that Golden State Warriors. Just got a message from my boy Scott Matthews that says that Milwaukee does get up for big teams. So it is something to take into consideration. I may get with the Portland Trailblazers tonight. I don't know yet. I got to check the injuries and the trends and all that stuff. And if I get involved with that, I will put it out there later on. That's all I got to say because I got some big stuff for tomorrow. So with that said, we love you to death, guys. Thank you very much for the hashtag SBTVNation for retweeting our show. Go out there, go easy, but get that money. Take care.
Peace.